Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining me with our Bit with Britt today. I'm so glad that you're watching this and that we're able to make these videos, and I hope your Friday is just going fantastic. And so if you don't know where we are in our Faith Praises room, and this is where we practice bells. This is where the children's choir practices, and we have this beautiful artwork on the wall of music. And it's just an awesome place to be. And I love this because it reminds me of singing praises to God. And that's why it's called our Faith Praises room. Because we are praising God. We are lifting up our voices. We are lifting up music to celebrate how wonderful God is. And so I'm going to read from Psalm 100. A psalm for giving thanks. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Know that the Lord, he is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, bless his name. For the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations. And I love this one part in verse 4, especially where it says, enter his gates with thanksgiving, and his courts with praise, give thanks to him. And it reminds me of the attitude we need to cultivate in our life. During this pandemic, it's easy to focus on all the bad things that are happening. And that starts to weigh our spirits down when we only focus on the negatives. We focus on what we can't do. We focus on what we don't have. And the more we do that, the more we can just downward spiral into a very negative place. And that is not what God wants us to do. God wants us to cultivate a heart and spirit of thankfulness. And so we need to look for all the good that is still in the world, for all the ways to be thankful. How can we live out our lives if we're only focusing on the negative? That doesn't make us good stewards of God's love. By only focusing on the negative, we are ignoring all that God has done and continues to do in our lives. And there is so much for us to be thankful for. We have our community, our church, and still reaching out to each other. We still have food, we have shelter, we have safety. Spring is mostly here, except for the frost that might hit on Saturday. But we have so much things to be thankful for and wonderful things in our lives. And we need to cultivate that thankfulness, to seek God out and see all the wonder that he is doing. And I believe that will help us make the world a much more wonderful place to be. And I also want to read here from Psalm 34. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. And that first verse, I will bless the Lord at all times. That means when things are hard, when we are in this pandemic, we should still come to the Lord and bless his name. When things are good, we shall bless the Lord. When we're scared, we should still bless the Lord, no matter what the circumstances. We need to come to God, give him praise, and in him we will find our peace. So let us leave on this note in Psalm 34, verse 3. Magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. Thanks for joining me on this Bit with Britt, and I hope you have a lovely Friday.